Hi, and welcome to Teaching World Language with Technology from TechEdge.
And I'm Crystal Liu. I'm the World Language Specialist at the Nebraska Department of Education.
And I'm Guy Trainin. I'm a professor of education at the University of Nebraska-Lincoln. And today we're going to talk about Flip,
which is known as Flipgrid in a couple of years ago. So it's a platform that allows students or teachers to create videos.
And this platform was really became popular during the pandemic when a lot of us were home and we were trying to teach from home and to see students' products from home. And Flipgrid suddenly became a really good option for capturing student practice. But what we want to talk about is how you can use it even today in world language to help instruction.
Flip is very good tool. I have to say a lot of world language teachers love it because it gives us so many options and it allows us to differentiate. First, we know students like to express themselves, but at the same time, they are not comfortable. At that level, I would recommend allow some tools like Flip. So they can record themselves without being interrupted. And also they can concentrate on what they are trying to express, not being, scared by others or embarrassed by people being around.
And that's really important, but we also want to remind you that eventually we do want them to be able to talk because the whole point of communication is being able to communicate with other people. We want them to get over it eventually, but we want them to also have a safe place to start. And the other thing that I would like to caution against, especially if we're sending kids to other locations that are not our classrooms to do the recording, and that is some of our students tend to want to be perfect. And so they might get into a loop where they're recording for 2 hours for exactly 20 seconds, just so they can make it perfect. So we want to, as you get to know your students, you want to set the parameters so it doesn't become this task that takes over their life because they're spending the whole afternoon perfecting a 2-minute video. All right, can you show us how to use it?
We can go and create group. I would create, you can do classroom, clubs, or organizations. Of course, we want to do classroom. So this is going to be your classroom. So I teach high school, so I would use high school. Enter the group name right here. I would say Chinese 5 and 6. That's my advanced level. So now I can pick a theme that I like.
And can you upload a photo?
I uploaded a photo like this one. I uploaded.
Okay, so yes, we can. And one of my favorite things to do when you can upload a photo for the description of a class is actually take a photograph of all the kids in a class.
Yes.
And then it feels a lot friendlier when you get in there and you've got the people you know.
And so under the group you have created, you can create topics. So now I have 3 topics in this one, and I have a whole list here.
Again, one of the advantages here is that we are talking about really lowering the affective filter. So making a safe space for students to try out saying languages. I think in Chinese, it's especially important. It's important in all world languages, but the more different it is, the harder it is for students to just say anything. And so creating the conditions where they are actually participating is really, really important. And that's what we're really thinking about. Can you tell us a little bit more about the advantages of using Flip?
One of the advantages is that I really like the way that I can create a learning community with Flip, because I can create a classroom so that all my students come in and respond to my prompts. At the same time, they are able to respond to other students' video, make comments and like it or not like it.
One of the things is it's really easy to log in. You log in with your Google password or with your Microsoft password. Students can enter with whatever they're already using. You can see what Crystal was talking about is all of the other participants are right here, and I can listen to what they have done, but I love the simplicity. All I need to do to get going is press the record button, lovely, very simple procedure that I can do. I can create just audio, or I can create video. I love video. That's why I'm on this thing. But we can see students who say, I really would like to do something else. You can see, obviously, I can, for example, use a backdrop. And I will use a lovely backdrop like this. And so all the features that we are used to from Zoom and from other apps are available here.
On the right side, you can add text and all the stickers and things.
So I can add text right here.
Yes.
So let me try that. I will do typewriter. I love that font. Here we are. All right. And we can change fonts to different languages. And so this is really helpful. And then to get going, all you have to do is press here. You get the 3, 2, 1. And now I'm recording, so Crystal can later watch it. The one problem that I have right now is my Chinese is not very good, but English is my world language. And you can add music. You can also decide that this is not good enough, and you can go back. And if you like it, you go next. You give it a caption. You provide a link if there's a good link for that, and then you post it. And you can see that it's uploading.
And also, as teachers, we can provide feedback to students. So the feedback can be invisible to other students.
And I'm trying to create a comment. So if I do a comment, all I had to do was click on that little bubble and I could add a comment. And that comment can be moderated. And especially if you're anticipating some challenges, it's good to moderate. The other option is to talk about community and what are our community rules, and then work from there. So when you think about this, what are the biggest advantages of using Flip?
The biggest advantage is to, provide safe environment so students can start at a very beginning level. So they are comfortable and they can, at the same time, they can enjoy recording themselves, focusing on expressing themselves. The second one is the community that Flip can help to create so that students can see, oh, I'm not doing good, but my classmates are at the same level. And also I would like to mention about some teachers like to create a sample before students submit.
And the last thing that I want to say is that it is really useful to think about how do we use our time wisely in class. And if we are having students practice dialogue with each other or speaking in front of everybody else, besides the emotional filter that functions and the idea of I'm not feeling comfortable speaking in a world language in front of my peers and my teacher, you also have the fact that it is a lot less efficient. And one of the things that you can do with something like Flip is give everybody 6 minutes to plan and then execute a 1-minute sample. And then everybody has practiced instead of 1 or 2 students have had the opportunity to practice. All right. What are some things for teachers to think about from might be the challenges when you use this?
I would say sometimes students are making inappropriate comments because they want to just joke around. But the system gives us the option to go through the comments and approve those. And also I would like to mention about Flip as not a really good tool for interpersonal communication. Yeah, we can ask 2 students to record together, but it's not the best tool. We want students to eventually be able to talk to each other, to be more comfortable, express themselves, because the ultimate goal of world language learning is to help people to be able to communicate with, help learners to communicate with people from the target culture.
All right. So today on Teaching World Language with Technology, we talked about Flip, and we'll see you next time.